Okay, people, we got a couple of things to talk about today. In particular, I wanted to start it off with talking about the very odd, bizarre, and just straight up what information and news that just recently went down with the author of Chainsaw Man, Tatsuki Fujimoto, because, yeah, it has me a little bit like, yo, Fujimoto, a little bit bizarre with some of the behaviors when you're not drawing the bizarre behaviors of Chainsaw Man, because wow. So quickly before we get into it, if you would hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to get notified. I talk about a wide variety of anime and manga over here. I think it'll be to your benefit if you was to hit them buttons, so hit them. The other day, I believe it was yesterday, the day before, I heard murmurings that Tatsuki Fujimoto's official Twitter account was removed recently. Honestly, I usually get confused with his name to begin with because it's not just straight up Tatsuki Fujimoto. I believe it was something different. So I've even gotten some articles wrong because I get the wrong Fujimotos and all of that stuff because, yeah, it's a little bit complicated. But Tatsuki Fujimoto, I've known him to already always have been somewhat eccentric or trolly or just in general a little bit of a jokester, so to speak. I remember the first time I saw this, there was like a clip of him trying to levitate, so to speak, trying to fly in his room. I knew, okay, Tatsuki Fujimoto, he's maybe a little bit younger, maybe just a little bit of a funny guy, a little bit unorthodox, so to speak, but yeah, Twitter apparently wasn't here for any shenanigans when it comes to Tatsuki Fujimoto because, again, he was recently banned off of Twitter for pretending to be his own little sister. Yeah, that sounds like the title of an anime or a manga in general. Like, I was banned from social media for pretending to, like, what? Let's read a little bit so you guys can get up to speed as to what the hell is going on here, but very, very odd. I must go. The time is now. I must go. It's time to get out. Chainsaw Man creator Tatsuki Fujimoto officially joins Twitter after his little sister's account gets banned. And when I read that headline, for starters, I'm like, oh, you know, it's such a shame. You know, his little sister's Twitter got deleted or banned. Man, that's unfortunate. He decided, you know what, as a big brother, I'm going to step up and, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to be big bro. I'm going to create my Twitter account. They ain't going to get rid of us that easy, but yeah, it's not that simple. It's been a week on Twitter, to say the least, and one unexpected person has been caught up in the giant mess of a social media platform. Chainsaw Man manga creator Tatsuki Fujimoto, who had his quote-unquote third grade elementary school little sister role-playing account banned because Twitter thought the user was too young. Fujimoto opened up an official account stating, I am really Tatsuki Fujimoto. Please believe it. So let's examine a little bit of this. Okay, it's definitely been a week on Twitter. Elon buying it and all that. Big week, I guess you would say. But then he had his third grade elementary school little sister role-playing account banned. Dog, why do you have a third grade little sister role-playing account on Twitter or anywhere for that matter? That's a little bit odd. Now I totally get it. Everybody has their preferences of what they like to do in terms of, you know, hey, if you like pretending to be a third grade girl on Twitter, that's you. But I'm sorry to say that's just a little bit weird for me, mate. And you know, it is what it is. You want to defend them because you love Chainsaw Man, even though they're two separate things altogether. Like, I completely respect and admire Tatsuki Fujimoto for all of his stuff that he's brought with Chainsaw Man, Fire Punch, all of the, you know, one-shots, Goodbye Eddie, Don't Look Back. Like, he's an amazing author, no question. But this right here threw me for a little bit of a loop. I was like, really, Fujimoto? This is what we're doing on the off hours? While you got Tagashi there with his back issues, like taking downtime. This dude on his downtime is like, yeah, dog, I'm Oni-chan. For some backstory, Fujimoto had been posting on a Twitter account role-playing as a little sister character, Koharu Nagayama, doing so before he'd even become a published manga creator. So this is a thing that Fujimoto has been into for a while. This wasn't like, yo, dog, Chainsaw Man's popping, now I can finally act like my little sister. Like, no, he's been like writing a chapter of Chainsaw Man and then Oni-chan Fujimoto, dog. While it's been well known for a while now that the account belonged to Fujimoto, he continued to play the part of the elementary school student who loved his work. It wasn't until the Chainsaw Man anime that the manga creator would tweet in his own voice about the behind-the-scenes information on the series. They were probably like, you know, it might behoove you, it might benefit you a little bit to, use whatever avenues you have access to reach to promote your work. And he was like, all right, I'll put down the little sister stuff for a second. Hey world, Chainsaw Man anime. Though it seems to have caught the eye of someone who hasn't left or been forced out Twitter, who took the account at face value and banned it for being underage. Fujimoto's editor, Shihei Lin, confirmed that the account was taken down for being quote-unquote underage and revealed Fujimoto's new account. So his editor, Shihei Lin, is in on the, we'll call it, shenanigans. Shihei Lin, dog, why are you covering for your mans, dog? Like, what's going on here? Lin said that both he and Fujimoto are currently trying to contact Twitter support to restore Nagayama's account with her older brother, but are not having very much luck at the moment. I think as well what might have caused this, now that I think about it, I saw some people tweeting that, yo, what's going on here? Like, Fujimoto in an hour tweeted like 40 to 60 different tweets, which is very abnormal. Like, in an hour, you post maybe 3 or 4 tweets at most, 10 if you're really into the conversation or something like that. You don't just spam 30, 40 things, and probably people are like, okay, so if they're spamming things, that means they're probably a kid. Oh, the account says they're a kid. Let's get them out of here. Tatsuki Fujimoto's live tweets alongside the Chainsaw Man TV anime will temporarily continue on this new account, Ashitaka_Ava, though that temporary depends on if he gets access to the account back or if Twitter will even be around in a week's time. Okay, this article is very much so biased on the whole Elon situation, because why else he keep bringing shit up? But yeah, Tatsuki Fujimoto a little bit on the, what are you doing, dog? Little bit strange, don't you think? No, like, yeah, I don't know, honestly. Maybe I'm being too judgmental. Maybe some people out there right now watching is like, yo, so what is the big deal? Hey, if that's your preference, but yeah, Twitter didn't feel like it was the right thing to do, and they got Fujimoto out of here at the very least on that account. But yeah, I don't know, just strange story, no? Then something else pretty significant that the world is talking about that I wanted to drop my 2 cents in. Ash apparently caught one. Hey, he's one step closer, although some might think that he already achieved the dream of being a Pokemon master, because it was just recent in one of the latest leagues that apparently Ash won again. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like I'm living in deja vu to a certain degree, because I remember very vividly a couple of years ago, Ash, everybody was rallying behind him because, oh, he won one finally. He's the Pokemon master. Yeah, he beat, what was it, the Alola region or something like that? I want to say Aloha region. Like, he pretty much won one of those, and everybody was like, oh my god, Ash finally won one. So when I'm seeing this now, I'm like, but Ash already won one. Like, is this a bigger league? Let's read what's going on here. Ash Ketchum finally becomes the world's greatest Pokemon trainer. Yeah, and then he woke up from his dream of being 10 years old. After 25 years, perpetual 10-year-old Ash Ketchum has finally become the world's greatest Pokemon trainer. I don't know about that. Ash's big moment took place in the latest episode of Pokemon Ultimate Journeys, the series, which premiered today in Japan. In it, Ash's Pikachu defeats a Charizard belonging to Leon, who video game fans will remember as the champion of Pokemon Sword and Shield's Galar region. Their battle was the final bout in the Pokemon World Coronation Series Masters 8 tournament, which pits champions from across multiple regions against one another, including Cynthia, Iris, Steven, and Lance. By defeating Leon, Ash effectively proved himself the strongest of all the Pokemon League champions. Oh, so I guess because he won the whole thing in Alola, that's why he was able to compete in this, thus completing the dream he first set out to accomplish when he left Pallet Town in episode 1 of the original 1997 series. Okay, I think I'm understanding what's happening here. Pretty much because Ash was able to enter this whole Pokemon League champions, it's not just like hey, I got 8 badges. It seems as though because he was already a champion of a Pokemon League, and I'm assuming again it was the previous one that he won, he was able to enter this big contest and compete against other Pokemon League champions. So technically this is a bigger feat than even winning the Alola region. So okay, this is an especially big deal for Ash, who has historically had a tough run in tournaments like this. In fact, until 2019, he'd never managed to become a Pokemon League champion in any of his previous attempts, a losing streak that ended when he defeated Gladeon in the Manolo Conference and became Alola's champion. Prior to that, though, Ash suffered championship loss after loss, all the way back to his initial run in the Indigo League arc, where we all cried as little kids, where he only placed in the top 16. That damn Richie and his Pikachu. What's next for our hero then? Well, with a new Pokemon game coming out next week, we're sure to see Ash eventually make his way to the Paldea region and challenge that league. He's also previously expressed desires to, catch them all, but given how far behind he is now that the total Pokemon is pushing 1,000, this seems an unlikely feat for him to achieve. Congrats, Ash. You're an inspiration to us all. Us all? Who? Who you talking about? Well, he ain't an inspiration to me to be 10 years old for the rest of my life, taking L upon the... No. You keep that one to yourself there, buckaroo of this article. But yeah, I don't know. Like, a part of me is not really... I was probably more hype when he won the Alola region just because... Oh shit, Ash finally caught one. Wow. Like, with this one is like, I guess it's, again, technically an even bigger feat because it was Pokemon champions from all over coming to compete opposed to competing to become a Pokemon champion. But I guess, where is it when... It'll probably be when sales dip, but when is it that we're going to finally get like a competition that solidifies him as a Pokemon master? Like, that's the overall objective, right? It's to catch them all, to become a Pokemon master. I think whenever we get that arc that like, yo, this is the one to become a Pokemon master, that will be where I finally feel like, okay. So at this point, I don't really care about Ash's journey like that. It's just hey, every couple of years when the league ends, let's see if he won or lost or whatever. Like, that's my relationship with Pokemon as it stands right now. Don't get me wrong. I grew up on Pokemon, all of that stuff, but that's where my whole thing is right now. Like, is Ash gonna win the league or not? And I'll check back in a couple of years when the league is all over. I want to get a solidified, he competed in the Pokemon Master Challenge and either won or lost, ideally won, because once he wins something like that, like, yo, dog, this is from everywhere. They're coming from the Indigo, from Palatown. They're coming everywhere. And then, okay, Ash won, there's no more need. And I guess also throw his father in there, even though I remember years ago, like, probably over 10 years now, 15 years ago maybe, that they announced like, yo, we're about to show Ash's father, and then they reneged on that. This was, I think, even before 4Kids lost the rights. Like, okay, so probably more than 15. It's been a long time anyway that they said they were gonna do this. Let's get to it already. Although, again, I imagine the only way we're ever gonna see something like that truly happen is sales are steadily declining rapidly for the video games. The franchise is finally dying off, and they're like, let's do one big hoorah to wrap this bad boy up. Because if they end Pokemon without Ash ever truly being solidified as the Pokemon master that caught them all, so to speak, even if we need a time skip to show, oh, during the time skip he ended up catching 1,000 Pokemon, that would be fly. In fact, if they ever wanted to reinvent the wheel for Pokemon and have it that there's a new character introduced, Ash has kind of become a Pokemon master, and maybe he's chasing after Ash at this particular point. Doesn't have to be his son, considering we know that they don't like to show fathers or whatnot. If Ash really becomes a solidified Pokemon master, let's get a new character that is kind of looking and idolizing Ash for what he did. There would be so many ongoing jokes. Maybe have Jesse and James be a lot older, and now they targeting this kid. Like, there's a lot of different things they could do with it, so I guess we gotta wait and see. But yeah, Ash caught another big W, the biggest W he's caught in all the Pokemon thus far. Looking forward to seeing if we get that Pokemon Master Challenge so we could really solidify, like, okay, Ash did everything he needed to do. Like, that's it. One Punch Man fans, it's been a rocky time. It's been a very uncertain and rocky loop in terms of trying to get through waiting for the next season of One Punch Man. We went from the absolute, undisputed, undeniable Season 1 produced by Madhouse Studios that everybody revered, near and dear to their hearts as, oh, this is the one, dog. This is the anime that shocked everyone, honestly. I thought One Punch Man was going to be, quasi-semi-successful. It really reinvented the wheel, because at that point, around 2015-ish, pretty much serious battle series were the wave. Like, still, I think Naruto was kind of still on people's minds. Bleach, One Piece, Tokyo Ghoul was coming in with a lot of a darker tone. So when One Punch Man came through, considering I didn't know too much about it initially, I was like, it's really slapstick. It's very one-offy. It's probably not going to make waves. It made massive waves. One Punch Man Season 1 was the god tier season that changed everything. There would be no talks right now of One Punch Man anything if it wasn't the impact that first season had, driving One Punch Man to the mainstream. It drove it straight past just typical anime and manga fandom to the point where even comic book fans was like, yo, whatever is this, I want more of this. Like, this is what I need in my life. And that's something very valuable to not only go through and become a big staple amongst anime manga fans, but if you could get those other people that don't really care about anime, but they care about your anime, now we're talking. Then, of course, we had that season 2. It was a Shaft, I want to say, where, yeah, it just didn't hit like the previous one. The art and animation just wasn't at the same level. I would throw the argument maybe the story wasn't as grandiose because Boros was like an alien overlord god, while the second half, despite the fact that, don't get me wrong, I ain't trying to sleep on Garo at all, but you really don't get to see all of Garo's feats. Garo's arc is really, really long, and the next upcoming season, season 3, ideally it should anyway, be the longest arc of One Punch Man anime. The whole 24 episodes ideally should be Garo-centric, and even then, I don't know if that'll be enough to cover everything about Garo, because that was a really, really long fight. But apparently, One Punch Man Season 3's anticipation is so high. Like, people are so excited for it, considering the, studio change again. A lot of people are with high expectations for A1 Pictures or, Studio Ufotable. That's not gonna happen. If Studio Ufotable gets One Punch Man, I will sit here like mind blown. I'll be honest with you, because it's gonna be the best season of One Punch Man, period, bar none. There's nothing you can tell me otherwise. Like, if Ufotable picked up One Punch Man, I'm calling it greatest anime of whatever year it airs. So yeah, that's there. But a lot of people are also hoping for Mappa, but they're hanging off to this hope so much so that it's gonna go back to the original One Punch Man, that One Punch Man Season 3 has reached the top 30 upcoming anime on my anime list with no info, just the teaser visual. So just a picture of Saitama and Garo was enough to generate that much interest, and I'm hearing murmurings, leaks, I'll leave out for now, on what's the studio that is behind One Punch Man Season 3. I'm just looking forward to seeing this thing. I'm looking forward because this is probably going to be the final try. If this one doesn't ring off the way Season 1 rang off, then consider One Punch Man's anime career future a dub. Like, we already know that 1 is seemingly trying to move on. He's the original author. He made the webcomic, and he's writing the serialized version alongside Yusuke Murata. But he's moving on. He finished Mob Psycho. That was his other work. And now he's starting a new series called Versus without Timbaland and Swiss Beats. But he's starting a new series. And I don't know if One Punch Man is going to be lucrative enough if this one fails for him to say, yeah, let's keep on going. Because if this fails, there's no more shot at an anime. I can almost guarantee they're not going to give it another chance. They're only doing this because One Punch Man at its height was ridiculously popular and made a lot of money. So we got to make sure that as long as they give us the goods, that we hold up our end of the bargain and support this thing. Because, yeah, One Punch Man Season 3, I want it, and I want a Season 4 if necessary. Again, I don't know how much longer One Punch Man is going to go for, but this is a testament that expectations are very high. If it is already in that category, if they deliver anything close to like Shaft or whatever, what they did with Season 2, people are going to be really upset. People are going to be really furious because, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. People really want this bad, and they're hoping and expecting it to be really good. So I guess we got to wait and see. I don't know if you can really mesh up or measure up to the feeling that Season 1 had. I'm going to be honest with you. Because Season 1, first of all, it was a very smaller cast. Like, it starts off as just Saitama. Then little by little, you got Genos. And, like, by Season 3, you have a crazy round cast of characters. So there's a lot more that needs to be handled. A lot more that needs screen time. So I don't know if Season 1 was just like a magical flash in a pan, so to speak. Not in terms of like that it's not good after the fact, because there's so much greatness to One Punch Man, but it was just a magical time, a very early and innocent beginning that anybody could latch onto. I don't know if with Season 3, considering you'd have to go through Season 2, we could restore that feeling, but I guess we gotta wait and see. Either way, One Punch Man Season 3, top 30 most anticipated anime with no info, just an image. And yeah, people, let me know what you guys think. What do you think about Tatsuki Fujimoto role-playing as a little girl on Twitter? What do you think about Ash catching another massive W, this time with this Pokemon Championship stuff? And One Punch Man Season 3, are you hyped for it? Do you think it deserves to be in the top 30 upcoming anime with no info, just a picture? And your overall thoughts of all of this. So laugh for this one. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Peace in, and yeah, hit that subscribe button and that like. Do me that solid.
Lights be flashing and looking at me, such an odd unique, yet I'm so unique and you're looking at me. If the walls could talk, they would probably read bleak, and I'd probably say, bitch, get the fuck off me.